We live in a society. We live in a society where we look at someone and their successes and say, yes, failure is what's got them there. Failure is what is defined as failing something, not being able to accomplish a success in a task. We look at billionaires and see that they had to go through multiple failures to get through where they are. But the thing is, we've rebranded failure. Anywhere you go, whether it's a coffee shop, a tech startup, or even a business school graduation, you go there and see and hear the same mantras that failure is a stepping stone to success, failure is the best teacher, and failure, if you're not failing, you're not trying hard enough. But we've also done something else to failure. We've rebranded it. We've repackaged it and romanticized it into inspirational quotes and put it on our For You pages for everyone to see. But the hard truth is, failure truly is necessary for success. As success depends on iteration, and iteration depends on failure, helping you see where you went wrong, where you went right, and what you can do better. But there's a harsh truth about failure that not a lot of people address or even talk about on stages like these. It's that failure is a luxury that only the wealthiest can afford. Let me give you an example. We have a 22-year-old and entrepreneur named Julian. He comes from a well-off family, goes to an elite business school, and he wants to launch a tech startup. So he gains hundreds of thousands of dollars in investment from what society so politely puts as a friends and family round, and finally launches that tech startup. Unfortunately, 12 months later, the product was a fail and the company goes bankrupt. So, what happens to Julian now? So, Julian writes a vulnerable post about all the important lessons he learned about failure, all the important things he's going to continue on in his journey, posted on social media. He liquidates his company and then he goes home. He goes home to his financial safety net, which was built from him and his parents' societal connections and wealth that was funded from years ago. Julian faces no consequences or repercussions of failure. Rather, he looks more shiny in investors' eyes. Now, future investors will look at him and think, yes, he has those ideas and right mind and experience to finally succeed in a business. Now, let's take another entrepreneur. Her name is Maya, but this time she comes from a working class family, meaning she's living paycheck to paycheck while all her family is working two jobs just to be able to pay rent. So she makes a harsh decision and a big risk. She takes out from her savings, takes on high interest loans, and maxes out credit cards and works 18-hour days just to be able to put more and more into her company. Unfortunately, 12 months later, her company goes bankrupt too. But what happens to Maya? There's no shiny future investors looking at her thinking, yeah, now she has the proper values to be able to succeed. Rather, she's followed by 15 years of debt that's going to follow her everywhere she goes. She has a horrible credit statement that's not going to be able to let her purchase a house or a car. This financial risk that she took is going to be the most disastrous and worst mistake she's ever made. And that's the truth about failure. Failure is truly something the wealthiest can afford. When someone we've developed something about failure. While we look at all these billionaires and think that they had to fail, we are all buying into a cultural case of survivalism bias because we look at all these people and think they have to fail twice or thrice to get to where they are. But people like Maya, hundreds of thousands of people, we see them and we don't see that truly because they are not able to invest. They make one mistake and when they get to one failure, and after that, they're permanently kicked off the economic chessboard. It's people like Julian who are able to never suffer any consequences, and it's people like Maya who truly are. And this creates a horrible consequence which is called innovative capture. It's when these billionaires, these people who have the financial security to build and fail, are the ones who are controlling our modern environment and the society we are going to live in. And you can see the results of these mistakes. These people, we mostly investing in companies and tech startups that solve minor problems, such as being able to deliver groceries 30 seconds faster if you're living in a specific neighborhood, or apps that are meant to flip assets. But the truth is, we are not solving real problems. We're not solving health disparity. We're not solving education. We're not able to solve society and the big problems that millions of people go through. And these people, they have the potential. They went through these solutions, so they have the potential to get in there and solve these problems. But unfortunately, they can't. They can't because they can't afford to make the financial risks or the financial decisions to be able to solve problems and change worlds. So imagine all this potential, future scientists, innovative problem solvers, creative directors, just not being able to do what they want because they're stuck in a dead end job because they can't take the leap of faith with no safety net behind them. In engineering, there's two types of philosophies: a fail safe and a safe to fail. A fail safe is a type of build that focuses on being rigid and being up straight. But the truth about these fail safes is if one stressor or something falls upon them, they might not be able to continue their standing. They might all fall down and collapse entirely. While a safe to fail is built for the inevitability of failure. It's built to be able to handle these stressors. It's built to be able to graciously accept them and move on and continue to stand. Right now, we live in an economy which is a fail safe. It's only safe for the people who have money, while there's a concrete slab waiting to crush people if they fail for the modern human. And we need to create a place where it's safe to fail so that when people go through something unexpected, whether it be job loss, medical emergency, rent increase, or whether they go through a failure, they have to be able to stand up again and again and keep on surviving and building their goals. Take this. If you haven't listened to my talk at all, just know that mediocrity is not from a vacuum of depression. You can't get that. Just know that you have to be able to live in a world, if you want to be able to make a world great, you have to be able to live in a world where making one mistake doesn't mean that it's the end of the world. And to know that this is truly the place to be, and that this is truly how no one fails, is the best part of knowing that failure is not part of it. And that failure is not part of it in the long run, but to know that failure is good.